Your current life is a direct result of a hidden program running in your mind. This invisible software dictates your success, your confidence, and every single decision you make. Most people believe they are in full control of their actions. They think their choices are logical and conscious. But neuroscience tells a very different story about how we actually operate. You are not truly driving the car of your life. Your subconscious mind is the one behind the steering wheel. Right now, beneath your awareness, an operating system is processing millions of bits of information. Your conscious mind can only handle a tiny fraction of that data. This system controls your heart rate and your breathing. More importantly, it controls your automatic reactions to the world. If you feel stuck, it is not because you lack talent. It is because your brain is literally programmed to keep you exactly where you are. Welcome to NGB Stories. If you are ready to take control of your destiny, make sure to subscribe and join our community. We focus on the science of high performance and mental mastery. Now, let's get back to the deep work of rewriting your mental software. Your brain is a tool, but most people let the tool master them. Think about the times you tried to change a habit. You wanted to wake up early or start a new project. You felt strong for a few days. Then you suddenly slipped back into your old ways. You probably blamed a lack of willpower. But the real reason was your subconscious software fighting back. This programming was installed during your childhood. It was built from every criticism you heard and every rejection you faced. Every time someone said you were not good enough, your brain recorded it. These recordings became your default settings. Now, when you face a challenge, your brain runs the old script. If that script says success is for others, you will sabotage your own opportunities. The most dangerous part is that this happens without you knowing it. You think you are making a rational choice to wait. In reality, you are following an invisible script written years ago. But here is the breakthrough. These programs are not permanent. Your brain has a feature called neuroplasticity. This means you can physically change the structure of your mind. The same brain that learned to doubt can learn to believe. High performers do not rely on simple motivation. They systematically reprogram their subconscious minds. They turn their biggest obstacle into their most powerful ally. When you do this correctly, confidence becomes automatic. Persistence becomes your natural response to any problem. Every thought you think is either strengthening your old limits or building new ones. There is no neutral ground in your mind. Most people stay the same because change feels uncomfortable. But you are here because you refuse to accept limits, and you are ready to break the invisible chains holding you back. Subconscious sabotage is why smart people stay stuck. Your mind has one main job, which is to keep you safe. To your subconscious, safe means familiar. Anything new feels like a threat to your survival. This was helpful when humans lived in caves. Back then, a new situation could mean a predator was nearby. Today, this same mechanism keeps you trapped in a mediocre life. When you try to step out of your comfort zone, your brain sounds an alarm. It floods your body with stress hormones. It generates doubt and anxiety to pull you back to safety. The closer you get to a breakthrough, the stronger the resistance becomes. This is why people quit right before they succeed. They delay the launch or ruin the relationship for no logical reason. Your subconscious does not care if you are happy. It only cares that you are in a familiar environment. It would rather keep you in a job you hate than face the unknown. This sabotage is often very subtle. It shows up as procrastination or perfectionism. You tell yourself the timing isn't right. You say you need more research or more money. These are not real reasons. They are sophisticated forms of resistance. Your brain is incredibly creative at making excuses look like logic. Successful people learn to expect this resistance. They know that feeling afraid is actually a sign of progress. They rewire their brains to associate growth with safety instead of danger. This process is not always comfortable, but it is necessary. You must decide that your desire for growth is stronger than your need for comfort. Your brain creates your reality through a filter called the Reticular Activating System, or RAS. Every experience you have ever had shaped your neural pathways. If you were criticized often, those pathways became like heavy-duty highways. They are now strong and automatic. Your RAS acts like a gatekeeper for your conscious awareness. It decides what information you notice and what you ignore. If your RAS is programmed for failure, it will find evidence of failure everywhere. It will highlight your flaws and make your potential invisible. Two people can look at the same situation and see different things. A pessimist sees only problems. An optimist sees only opportunities. Both are right because their brains are trained to show them different realities. You are already programming your RAS every day. You do it through the media you consume and the conversations you have. Most people let their environment program them by default. This usually leads to a mindset of scarcity and fear. Intentional programming requires you to take responsibility for your thoughts. It is like renovating a house while you are still living in it. You must replace old structures with new ones, one by one. Building new neural pathways takes time and consistency, but the results change everything. Fear becomes a signal to move forward rather than a reason to stop. Confidence is not a trait you are born with. It is a skill you develop through practice. Most people wait to feel confident before they act. This is a mistake. Real confidence is the result of action, not the cause of it. Every major breakthrough happens when you act before you feel ready. High performers generate confidence internally. They feel the same fear and doubt as everyone else. The difference is they have trained themselves to act anyway. You build confidence by surviving things that scare you. This creates evidence in your subconscious that you are capable. But do not try to take on massive challenges all at once. This can overwhelm your nervous system and reinforce your fears. Use progressive exposure instead. Start with small challenges, just outside your comfort zone. Each small win is a vote for your new identity. Your identity is the most powerful force in your psychology. It acts like a thermostat for your behavior. If you see yourself as someone who struggles, you will always find a way to struggle. This is why willpower usually fails for long-term change. You are trying to change your behavior while keeping the same identity. Your actions will eventually snap back to match how you see yourself. To transform permanently, you must change your identity first. Then your behavior will naturally follow without effort. You change your identity by providing your subconscious with evidence. Decide who you want to become. Then perform the small actions that person would do. If you want to be healthy, start by drinking 1 glass of water. These micro actions are powerful because they don't trigger the brain's resistance. There is a 5-second window between an idea and the moment your brain kills it. When you feel an impulse to grow, you must move within 5 seconds. If you hesitate, your subconscious will flood you with excuses to stay safe. You can hijack this process by counting backward from 5 to 1. This simple act engages your rational brain and overrides your emotional fear. Physical movement is key. It sends a signal that you are safe even while taking a risk. Use this rule to speak up in meetings or start a difficult task. Every time you move instead of hesitating, you are building the neural pathways of action. Reprogramming your subconscious requires the right language. The subconscious does not care about logic. It responds to repetition, emotion, and vivid imagery. Mental rehearsal is a powerful tool for this. When you vividly imagine success, your brain fires the same pathways as if it were actually happening. From your brain's perspective, there is no difference between a real experience and a vivid imagination. Spend 10 minutes every day visualizing your goals with intense detail. Do this right before sleep or right after waking up. This is when your brain is in a theta state and most open to new ideas. You must also build a fear immunity system. Fear is not your enemy. It is a navigation tool. The things you fear most are often the things you need to do most. You can train your body to interpret anxiety as excitement. They both feel the same physically. The only difference is the label you give them. Tell yourself, "I am excited," when you feel nervous. This shifts your mind from a negative state to a positive one while keeping your energy high. Build your mental fortress by focusing only on what you can control. Stop wasting energy on other people's opinions or past mistakes. A resilient person sees every setback as a lesson rather than a failure. In a world full of distractions, focus is your competitive advantage. Most people have destroyed their ability to concentrate. They have trained their brains to crave constant stimulation. You can reverse this through attention training. Start with short blocks of deep work. Eliminate all notifications and distractions. When you master focus, you can access flow states. These are periods of peak performance where work feels effortless. Momentum is the final piece of the puzzle. It is created through action, not motivation. Starting is the hardest part because of the activation energy required. Make the first step so small that it is impossible to fail. Track your progress based on your efforts, not just your results. Celebrate every small victory to give your brain positive reinforcement. Small, consistent actions compound over time into massive results. Eventually, you will reach a point where moving forward is easier than stopping. This is the unstoppable identity. It is a belief that you can learn any skill you need. It is the understanding that failure is only temporary data. You are the architect of your own potential. Your past does not define your future. The power to change has been inside you all along. Now is the time to use it. Now is the time to become unstoppable.